Today we're going to talk about clipping masks. This will be a quick one, but this is very, very powerful. You go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make, or Command 7, and you do Alt Command 7 to release. When you press Command 7, anything that you have selected will be masked. The top object will cut everything else in the selection. There are two main things that you need to make a clipping mask. One is the object that is going to clip, and the other is whatever is going to be clipped. Imagine the object that is going to do the clipping as a cookie cutter and everything else as dough. Anything that falls outside of that cookie cutter will be masked. The object that is on top, I'm going to show you these layers here. Okay, so we've got our stars, circles, and our yellow. So let's select everything and then press Command 7. Okay? Everything that falls outside of the top object, which is that star, is now masked. Everything else is contained within that mask. Now, if I were to select everything except one of these objects, so I don't have this circle selected, press Command 7. Everything is masked except this circle, which was not part of the selection, so it is not masked by the star. Now let's just throw everything in here, and we'll do one of these circles. So I'm going to put this on top, select it all, mask. All right. So when we are looking at a mask, it's sort of like a group. Notice that there is a triangle, and if you turn that triangle to the bottom, it will expand this group. One of these objects, the object that was on top when you pressed Command 7, is the clipping path. Everything else has been clipped. So this is the cookie cutter, this is the dough. So you can clip all kinds of different things. You can clip things with gradients, you can clip things with patterns, you can clip things that have transparencies. So if I come in here like this, and I draw a circle over all of this, like that, and select it, and mask it, it is masked. So now when we go and we take a look at that, it's masked. If I want to release it, then I can come in here like this, and I can go Object, Clipping Mask, Release, or I can press Command Option 7, and that will release it. If you have something that is masked and you want to edit what's inside, let's say I wanted to move these dots slightly. Okay, if I come in here like this with my black arrow tool, it moves the entire object, right? It's a group. It's working, functioning together. Everything is highlighted. If I come in with my white arrow tool, then it will select an individual component, right? If I want this, then I can move that around, and notice it moves within the mask. You can even move it that way. Okay? You can also do this with words. So if we come in here like this, I'm going to release this, okay, and you have an image, and you want something over the top of that image, you can put some text over the top. Text is treated as a single object. Select that image, Apple 7, and then that is selected, or that is masked. Another way, let's see which layer this is on, here we go. So you can see I've got the words are the clipping mask, and I've got the image is what is masked. Now what's interesting about this is that I can change the letters and they still act as a mask on that image. I can change the font, okay, and it still acts as a mask on that image, or whatever is underneath that. So, another thing that you might want to see is that you can edit a mask. So if we're here, I'll clean this up so you can see what I'm doing, and I just select just the clipping path, then I can come in with my white arrow tool, or my convert anchor point tool, or even my pen tool, and you can edit those. You can also use complex or compound shapes as a mask. I'm going to release this, and then I'm going to lock it, And then I'm going to make kind of a lattice work here. So we can see what's going on. As long as it's all one single object, it can be as complex as you want. So you notice this is all one object now. If we look at this in the menu, okay, it's one compound path. And then if we unlock everything, whatever shape is on top, which is our lattice, will mask whatever is underneath it when we press Command 7. Just to show you what that looks like, let me throw something behind it. Now notice there's still mask over here, but there's nothing over there. So if I were to grab like this and drag it over there, you could see, you know, more of the lattice work. Or this and drag it over there. You can also drag things into an existing mask. So let's create a mask here. So we can take an additional object and we can drag it in our layers palette into that and it becomes clipped. So if I drag this over here like this, and then I drag it into this group, it becomes clipped because it is part of that clip group. If I drag something out, it is no longer clipped. So that is what masks are. So remember, the object that's on top is what cuts. That's the clipping path. And everything else that is selected that is underneath it is masked.